Listen, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even think that we're going to do an intro for today's video. Today in this video, we're going to be talking about Captain America Brave New World, though. I just got to see it last night, and I'm just going to cut right to the chase here. After watching this movie, I've got to sleep on it. This video is being posted, of course, on the same day that I'm recording it, so I've had a little bit of time to, think about it. I just feel nothing. I don't think that this is a bad movie. It's not a good movie, though. It's not the worst of the worst, like Kraven the Hunter, if we're talking about comic book films. But it's also not Winter Soldier, which is okay. But it's also not even like Ant-Man, which I think has some like flavor and flair. It's just nothing. It's kind of just your run-of-the-mill, hey, we want you to buy a ticket to watch this movie, then forget about it type of film. I was really excited for this movie, and I understand there were reshoots, there were doubts, but I just don't know what went wrong here. I think that I was a bit naive personally, and I think that we were all sort of naive because we started to hear about how this is going to be kind of like the Incredible Hulk sequel, and we're also going to be playing off the Eternals. But now that I think about it, I'm trying to think why I would be excited for a sequel to two of the worst MCU movies, or like, bottom 5, bottom 3, whatever. I know there's some Incredible Hulk defenders, there's some Eternal defenders, but that's the minority. Most people really don't like the Incredible Hulk. Most people don't like the Eternals. The Eternals is less of a factor here, it's more about the Hulk. But I don't know why I was so excited knowing that. I think it was because of the fact that this was apparently going to be like the Winter Soldier. It was going to be a bit more grounded, a bit more of like a, who's pulling the strings type of films. And I love when comic book movies do that. Let me just say that. But I just don't think they pulled it off. There was nothing special here. Let me start off with my pros, because I'm going to be honest, I'm recording this video right now, and just to be transparent with you guys, I don't even know what to talk about. Because I'm just like, alright, I guess we're just on to the next. I'm excited for Thunderbolts now, because this movie just feels like it's just going to come and go, and that's about it. It didn't do a good job of setting up the next, Avengers film. It didn't make me really fully believe in Sam as, like, the Captain America of the future. I just feel nothing. The pros, though, okay, I know I just talked about Sam. I think the best part of this movie is Sam, though. I love Sam as a character, don't get me wrong. I think he deserves to be Captain America. I even love him as Captain America. This movie doesn't feel like, though, a Captain America movie, but that's okay, because I do like seeing Sam being pushed to the forefront. He's funny, he's charismatic, he does have that, noble feeling to him, where, he always wants to do what's right. He wants to feel worthy with that shield, almost in, a Thor way. I do like his comedic timing. I like the way that he plays off of Falcon. But from there, his suit, I think it looks awesome as well. From there, another pro is just the fact that we're finally back on the grounded side of the MCU. It felt somewhat tethered to just the political side of the MCU, the politics, of course, just with the White House, the president. I like that. I think that's really interesting because my favorite MCU film is Captain America, the Winter Soldier. So I didn't expect this movie to be nearly as good, but I liked that it was following in the footsteps. And I thought that the first act of this movie did a pretty good job of setting up what was going on. Even the second act, I thought it was interesting. It's what's going on here? Who's pulling the strings? Who's the one that's kind of playing with everyone and trying to corrupt the government, trying to corrupt Captain America, trying to ruin, I don't want to go into spoilers, of course, but the plan of what's going on here. There's basically just this secret person in the shadows lurking that's pulling all the strings, again, controlling everybody. And this is the thing. From there, I don't even know what my other positives are. I think that some of the hand-to-hand combat, I saw some people complaining online that it looks sluggish. I would actually argue that it looks more realistic. In the opening, there's just one really good fight scene that I thought I really enjoyed. I mean, I thought that it was wow, I'm seeing Captain America here do something good, trying to save people, trying to do something right. But this is the thing. The aerial combat that we saw in the trailer, I thought was pretty cool, I guess. Kind of like your standard MCU stuff, maybe at best. Your Red Hulk fight, I saw a lot of people praising that. I thought that was also kind of just your standard MCU combat. I'm going to be honest. It was cool, but this is another problem that I need to talk about before I even get into my negatives. This entire film was shown in the trailer. This might be single-handedly the most egregious, obnoxious, obvious example of Marvel showing the entire movie in the trailer. There's the thing. I think another reason why I didn't like this film is because I literally felt like I've already seen this movie. And of course, I could rewatch movies, but there was just nothing new. There was literally nothing new. We knew that Red Hulk was going to show up. We knew that there was going to be a fight at, the Eternal Celestial thing. We knew that Sam was going to be in a courtyard at some point, kind of fighting some bad guys. We've seen every single scene in the trailers to some capacity. We see Isaiah Bradley shooting at Harrison Ford. We've seen the entire film in the trailer. The only thing that you don't know is what the plan of the villain is, which once you find that out, that's the only real surprise. And it's, by the way, it's a bad surprise. It's an okay at best surprise. So you've already seen this movie in the trailer. Then you basically just go to see the extended version of it, I should say, in the movie theater. There's not that much to see here. There's some new stuff, of course, that was cool. But let's just get into the negatives here. This is really not a well-made film at all. I'm going to be honest. Usually I wait till the end to give you guys my rating, but I'm going to give you guys my rating of the film right now. I'm going to give this movie a 2.5 out of 5. And I think that I'm being generous with that rating just because I love Sam Wilson. I love when the MCU goes for more of like a political thriller route. I think if I was to rewatch this movie, I might actually lower my rating. But for now, I'm just going to go with the 2.5. Again, usually I wait till the end, but I want to kind of like give you guys an idea of how I'm feeling before I get into my thoughts. So we're going to go with 2.5 out of 5, below average. Average for me is pretty much 3 for the most part. But this is the thing. I feel like this film is not well made. Some of the CGI backgrounds look awful. Like, there's characters that'll be talking in like a park, and you can tell that they're not even standing in a park. When I look at other MCU films that people don't like from like Phase 1, Phase 2, maybe like a Thor the Dark World, maybe Iron Man 2, which I actually think is a pretty good movie. I'm not saying it's great, but I think it's like a solid 7 out of 10 type of movie. You can tell that people are really at a location and they're also both there. Like, it's not like, they film their scenes on separate days at separate times and they're editing them together. No, it's two people maybe in a building talking to each other. Two people, on a beach talking to each other. I'm just making up random locations. In this film, it feels like people are just surrounded by green screens for like half the time. From there, some of the fights, again, the CGI just looks a bit wonky. I don't love the way that Sam's helmet is like nanotech and it just comes on and off. And the leader, man, the leader who, it's been leaked. Everyone knows that's the villain in this movie. The leader looks awful. And again, tying back into what I was saying before about, I don't know why I went into this film thinking, oh wow, I'm really excited to see all these Incredible Hulk characters back. Because after I saw the movie, I was like, wait, I feel like I've just been bamboozled. I feel like I've just been hoodwinked. I just feel like I've almost been played. Because I'm like, this isn't a Captain America movie. This is an Incredible Hulk sequel. No one likes the Incredible Hulk. Why would I even want to see a sequel? Because it's not much better. The leader, though, man. It's one of the worst character designs in the MCU. It's not MODOK level, but I think that it's close. It really is. It's pushing on that boundary. It's rough. And a lot of the scenes that he's in, when maybe, I don't want to get into anything, but he's just standing somewhere, you can just tell that behind him, it's CGI. But it's like a courtyard, or it's like a building. Why are we using CGI to configure the background? It takes me out of the movie and it looks really bad. What else do I even talk about from here, man? I think that Harrison Ford is definitely a standout in this movie. I really like him. I get that like he's getting up there in age, but I just don't know if his performance at all times was exactly great. It does feel like he's just doing it for a paycheck. I don't blame the guy. His resume is already legendary is an understatement, okay? His resume is top notch. I don't know how much I loved the Red Hulk storyline, the way that we got there, and the plot that the leader was trying to put together, the pieces that he was pulling together to have his plan go the way that he wanted it to, was just kind of like, okay, sure. Again, I just feel nothing. I don't feel anything from this movie. It had cool moments. It also had bad moments. I think that, and this is the best way to explain it, consistently throughout, there are some really good moments in this movie. But also, for every good moment, there's a really, really bad moment to counteract that good moment. And when you have 10 good moments and 10 bad moments, guess what? If you were, to add and subtract the good from the bad, whatever, that gives you 0. They cancel out. The positives and negatives, they kind of just cancel out. And they give you nothing. They deliver you on nothing. I liked Sam and Isaiah's relationship, but I also disliked the way that they used Giancarlo Esposito's character Sidewinder. I liked some of the combat, some of the hand-to-hand combat. I liked when Sam was being charismatic, and I liked the political thriller elements. I didn't like the villain and his plan. For everything that I liked, there's something that I disliked. I feel like this movie also, this way that the scenes are stitched together, you can just tell that stuff was reshot. You could tell that they were like moving scenes around in the editing room. Like, you know what? I think this scene would be a bit better if you move it here. And this scene, if we just, cut out this one, we add another one in, we'll go reshoot that tomorrow, and we'll just fill it in somewhere like over here. That'll work, on Adobe Premiere Pro or whatever. But this is the thing. I think that just overall, this movie kind of needed to be good. Because this is like our next connected movie. That's another pro I'll give them. This movie does feel very connected, which I did like. But this is the thing. This is our main connected film with our leader of the Avengers, apparently, going into Doomsday. I'm just not that excited for it now. I can't be. Don't even get me started on the post-credit scene, because the post-credit scene kind of is supposed to send this message to the audience that we already know, so the delivery is just so awkward, and I don't want to get into spoilers, of course, but it's honestly ridiculous, and it's another example of a horrible green screen. This just doesn't feel like a movie. I feel like, again, when I look at Iron Man 2, it feels like a movie, though. It feels like they were trying to do something. It feels like it's actually directed by someone. It feels like there was creatives in the writing room actually putting the pen to paper and being like, oh, it would be a good idea if we did this, and we had this character do this. Oh, yeah, that would be interesting. This movie feels like it was made by Marvel Studios. It doesn't feel like it was made by the director, who, by the way, I don't know why they went with this director, and no disrespect to him, his only real film, like that's moderately big, is a horrible Cloverfield spinoff that has like a 2.3 rating on Letterboxd. Why wouldn't you go for someone that maybe has proven themselves slightly? I think a good example of this is like Ryan Coogler, right? Ryan Coogler, debut film, Fruitvale Station. A lot of people liked it. Then he got the opportunity to make Creed. A lot of people loved Creed. Marvel said, you know what? This Creed movie was pretty good. He's on a good career path here. Let's give him Black Panther. He clearly has proven he has some talent. So what if we also bring in the guy he's worked with, Michael B. Jordan? Let's build up our talent tree here. And they made a great film with Black Panther. This film feels made by committee. There isn't a vision here. It feels like Marvel Studios made this movie, and the second that they finished editing, shooting, the second they had their final cut, they were just saying, you know what? Let's just see how it does at the box office. This feels like a film that shows me that, and don't get me wrong, all films are made to make money. There's nothing wrong with that. But it feels like Marvel is literally just watching the box office now. They couldn't care less about making a good film. They just need to make not a bad film. If they can avoid making a bad film, oh, we're good. And if the movie makes some money, yeah, that's fine. That's great. They're in a bad era. They're in a very dark era. We've known this for years. I honestly still don't even think Deadpool and Wolverine's that good. Like, I'm sorry. I thought it was pretty just gimmicky. Speaking of gimmicks, which is another thing that I forgot to talk about, I hope that you guys like this like longer rant style type of video where it's a bit slower paced. This movie feels very gimmicky. The gimmick of this movie is Red Hulk. That's the gimmick. And it feels like the entire film, since it was nailed to us in the marketing, the promotions, everything, the poster, that Red Hulk's going to be in here, it just feels like this gimmick that we're building up to. And the entire film, while I'm watching it, and I know that maybe, I shouldn't have this mindset, all I'm thinking is, wow, how are we going to get to Red Hulk? Because that's the gimmick. In Deadpool and Wolverine, everyone was thinking of, wow, how are we going to get to the cameos? But is there a good story? No. That's the main issue here. I think the story's okay. Like, it's fine. I don't think it's horrible. But there's some scenes where I was just like, good God, what are we doing here? Like, seriously. I'm almost convincing myself right now that it's closer to a 2-star. But for now, I'm going to stick with a 2.5. I think that's pretty much all my thoughts. But again, I don't even think this is a bad movie. But it's nowhere near being a good movie. I love some of the individual things in here. I love Sam Wilson as Captain America. Not just as his character. I love him as Captain America. I even like Falcon, his little sidekick. But I just don't think it's Winter Soldier, which is okay. But I don't even think it's in the same ballpark as Winter Soldier. This just feels honestly more like a joke in comparison to Winter Soldier. Seriously, because this is the same studio that made Winter Soldier 10 years ago. It's not like they don't know how to make Winter Soldier. They do. And I'm not saying make the same movie over again. But I don't know, man. I just feel nothing. I'm almost at like a loss for words. That's going to probably just about wrap it up for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm honestly pretty low energy today because I don't even want to scream and yell and rant because, you know, I was thinking, oh, maybe that would be fun if I just got on here and I was like, oh, this movie sucks. But it doesn't. It's just nothing. And if the movie's going to give me nothing, my energy in this video is also going to be nothing. I hope that you guys enjoyed this review. Let me know what you thought of that in the comments below. Just to be clear, if you guys are still watching up to this point, if you liked this movie, I am happy for you. I would never want to rain on your parade, especially because I really like Sam Wilson. If you're a big Sam Wilson fan and you just had a good time with this movie, I'm super happy for you. Seriously, maybe you like the Hulk and you like this movie. You like the Eternals. I just didn't, and that's just my honest thoughts, and it's my channel, so I guess I have to give my thoughts, of course. I can't speak for anyone else. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.